It's written by Jessica McBurney. So I've skimmed through the article and I've picked out some words that I think I might need to explain. So the first one is revolutionary. So if something is revolutionary, it's changing something usually for the better. So his work, because he's a scientist, has changed the world of science. Another word is paralysing disease, because he has motor neuron disease. Paralysing means that you can't move. So it's your muscles, so his body can't move, but actually he can't speak easily either. Advocate is when you are standing up for someone's rights. So your tutor might advocate for you when you're getting in trouble. They might stand up for you. Another word here is eccentric. So that can mean that someone is a bit more unusual. They might have quite different beliefs. So we'll come back to that one when we read the paragraph. Then we've got geometry, which is a type of maths, and predictive. So he uses software that is predictive, so it's able to tell by the movement of his throat or his lips what he's trying to say. Okay, let's have a read, and some of those words will make a bit more sense. So Stephen Hawking is one of the most famous theoretical physicists of our time, and not just for his revolutionary work in physics and cosmology, so that's to do with the stars. Over his lifetime, he has contributed immensely to scientific knowledge of relativity, black holes, quantum mechanics, and the universe's beginning. However, he is also well known throughout the world because of his status as a role model for people with disabilities. He has lived with motor neuron disease, a paralysing disease, for decades, but he continues to advocate for others who live and work with disabilities as well. So that paragraph is telling us, yes, he's well known for all of his science, but actually he's also well known because he stands up for the rights of disabled people or people with disabilities. So his early life. The Hawking family members were all very intelligent. Both of his parents studied at Oxford University near London, and his father became head of a division of Britain's National Institute for Medical Research. Hawking himself was born in January 1942. The family was known in their hometown of St Albans, Britain, for being somewhat eccentric. It was common knowledge that family dinners at the Hawking house meant silently reading to yourself at the table. So this bit doesn't make sense, does it? Because they've missed out some commas. So the family was known in their hometown of St Albans in Britain, so we should have a comma, for being somewhat eccentric. So the family were a bit odd, they're a bit unusual. In high school, Hawking maintained a close group of friends who all enjoyed activities such as making homemade fireworks, building model aeroplanes, and discussing big topics like religion and the mind. In 1958, Hawking and his friends began constructing basic computers with old clock and telephone parts. Computers themselves had only been around for 10 years. So living with ALS. Hawking's disease certainly never stopped him from achieving incredible things, but it has posed many difficulties. He lost most of his ability to write while he was still in his 20s, but he was able to continue working in physics by seeing equations in terms of geometry. When he became too unsteady on his feet to walk, he resigned himself to wild and unpredictable wheelchair driving instead. He and his wife campaigned for greater wheelchair access around Cambridge grounds, but he hesitated to call himself a disability rights activist because he preferred to distance himself from the disease. So he doesn't want to be thought of as someone who's got a disability. ALS eventually made Hawking's speech too slurred for others to understand him. He used a variety of cutting-edge technologies to help him communicate. At first, he raised his eyebrows to point to letters that spelled out words. Eventually, he and some friends developed a computer program that allowed him to select words from over 2,000 pre-coded phrases. The computer was attached to his wheelchair so he could communicate without a translator. As his disease progressed, he used more and more advanced technology, including predictive software and computers that sensed his cheek movements. Although he prefers to be known for his work in physics, Hawking has become more of a disability rights activist since the 1990s. Around 2000, he and 11 other people worked on a charter calling governments to increase support for those with disabilities. In 2012, he hosted part of the opening ceremonies for the Paralympics. So a pretty amazing man.